everybody, and welcome to the Liars Club. I'm Felicia Michaels.
And I'm Jessica Wellington.
And what we do at the Liars Club is we have two of our favorite comedy pals come on, and we ask them to tell two stories. One is the truth and one is a lie, and then we try to punch holes into both stories to see which one is the lie. Yes, it's a podcast and a game show at the same time. Jessica?
What's going on in the field, Jessica? Over here right now, I have a guest to my left. He's a regular on the D.L. Hughley show right now. I probably said that wrong. It's Hughley. And he also has been on At Midnight. He used to work here at the Comedy Store. Mr. Jay Mandyam.
Yay.
Howdy, Internet world.
And in front of me, my favorite lady. I love her to death. She's a bit much to take at times, but that's why we love
her. How dare you? How dare you to our beautiful guest here?
That's why we love her.
Okay.
Punky's been on Who Hates, what's that show, Adam?
Adam hates everything.
Yeah.
Adam ruins everything?
Adam did something. Adam ruins everything.
Adam ruins everything.
Yes.
You were great on that.
I appreciate it. I just hate watching myself. I hate my sound and my voice, and I hate.
But that show's informative too, so like you get to watch yourself and learn something. Right?
Well, it was the show really affected me because I've learned a whole bunch of shit I didn't know about.
Well, good. Right? And she's a
It was
regular
really
here
good.
at the Comedy Store, Miss Punkie Johnson.
Hey everyone.
Yay, Punky.
great to be here.
Yay.
What was the worst thing he ruined?
Who,
for
me?
you? No, Adam. Like, did he ruin something for you? Anything?
Oh no, Adam was great.
Oh.
He ruined. Well, in the episode, he ruined Thanksgiving.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I have an uncle who ruins Thanksgiving too.
I think we all got one of
Yeah.
them.
We all have
usually
one of
ruin
those.
Thanksgiving.
By the way, I just wanted to say that I was hanging out with someone in the comedy biz this weekend, and they had nothing but great things to say about you, Punky. We had such a long conversation about your comedy and
I
how
know who that is.
yeah,
That's a good
yeah,
thing.
yeah, and the fantastic,
Oh, great.
fantastic
Look at you,
things that
Punky.
people say always about you, and I'm happy for you that
That's good. I'm
that
out here
things
just
are
working
going to
hard.
happen for you. I
That's
think.
great.
Yeah,
I remember
yeah.
once there was a talent coordinator here who wouldn't even let you sign up on the open mic list.
He
And
did
look
not.
how far you've come. That's amazing.
Is it he who shall not be named?
You know, either way it go, like he taught me something. He taught me that the word no doesn't exist.
Yeah.
True.
You
So-
just takes one person's no and turn it into somebody else's yes.
But the thing is about it, I think he wanted to help me in that way by saying, "Hey, I'm a mess." You know how you get a teacher and they see so much potential in you, so they just hard on you, harder than all the rest of the students, and you're like, "You don't like me." But at the end of the day, they just saw something in you, so they made you work harder. I think low key, that's what he was trying to do.
Oh wow.
I don't give him that much credit, but
I'm just trying to think.
That's like very optimistic of you. I'm
it's
surprised.
good for you
Yeah,
to see
it's awesome.
the give him the benefit of the doubt and believe that there was some good in him.
I
and
am
there was a
trying very
plan
hard.
And,
I'm trying very hard to be positive.
Yeah, that's all you can do. Jessica, will you
Thanks.
introduce our on-air producer, please?
Oh, this guy, he's a Florida Gator fan. We all know that.
How could you tell?
Mr. Austin
Our
Lane
manager.
Walker.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's me.
Hey.
Go
There you
Gators.
go. Yeah, and then what about our engineer in the booth?
He's going to do our show this Friday at the Ice House, so you should come to that. He travels along with Doug Stanhope. His name is Brett Erickson.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yay,
Brett.
Brett. Hopefully he'll put himself
Hey,
on the
everybody.
pop camera right
Yeah, the
now.
old pop
man.
cam.
Put yourself on the pop camera.
We got to see it. It's brand new. But by the way, where are we streaming? YouTube?
We're streaming on YouTube. All right, so
There
we're
we
just
are.
there. Yay, pop up! Yay! So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna jump right into the stories. They have to be one is a true and one is a lie. They can't both be true. Like that's our personal pet peeve. At the end of you're like,
I said that to
"Surprise!"
Punky.
Okay,
Did you
good.
send that to Jay?
Yeah, I think so. I told you one is true and one is false.
I mean, I can lie no matter what. I do it for a living, okay?
Okay, we all do. All right, so why don't you start first?
Okay.
And you'll do one, and then Punky will do one, and then you'll do one, and then Punky will
Sure.
do one. Okay.
All right. So back when I used to work here at the Comedy Store, Chris Spencer had a birthday show, and
Chris Spencer's very handsome, FYI.
Yes.
Okay.
And funny.
Yes.
All right.
Very
He
handsome.
checks all the boxes.
That's information I was not aware of from you. Yeah. So Chris Spencer had a birthday show, and so like everybody in Hollywood showed up, and Kaylee Cuoco walked in, and she
Who's
was
Kaylee Cuoco?
Kaylee Cuoco from The Big Bang Theory.
Is that Clarissa Explains It All?
No. That's Melissa Joan Hart. Kaylee Cuoco is the hot blonde. Punky, you know who Kaylee Cuoco is, right? The
I
hot
know who
blonde
it is.
chick
She's a
from-
hot blonde chick on the Big Bang
on the
Theory.
Big Bang
okay,
Theory,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
So she
The rest of America is with you.
So I was working the cover booth in the original room. Chris Spencer's birthday show is in the main room.
Uh-huh.
And Kaylee walked in and she was confused. She didn't know where to go. And she's like, I'm here for Chris's birthday thing. And I immediately got out of that cover booth and was like, let me take you there. And I escorted her into the room in the back. And then I found a seat for her. And then I sat her down. And then I went and told my friend Jeremy, I was like, yo, Kaylee Cuoco's here. And he's like, no, she's not. And I was like, I swear to God, she's here. And my friend Chris was a manager here at the time. I was like, Kaylee Cuoco's here. He's like, no, she's not. And then finally the show ended and I went to go find her. And I started chatting her up. And then I escorted her back to her car, which was parked at the hotel next door. And I asked her for her number, and she gave it to me. And my friend Jeremy walked up at that moment, and he was like, oh shit, she's actually here. That's actually her. And he was like, I love you on the Big Bang Theory. You're my favorite character. And she's like, oh, that's sweet. And she gave him a hug. And then so I called her like the next week to go out. And then she was like, I met you a week ago. I don't know anything about you, and I'm supposed to go on a date with you. What's that about? So let me talk to you as a person. She's like, let me talk to you for a little bit at least before we go out. And I was like, all right. So what do you want to know? And then she starts telling me all these things, and then I tell her about me, and then I was like, so we'll meet up for brunch tomorrow. And she's like, yeah, sure. And then I was like, what are you getting into tonight? And she said, I don't want to tell you. And I was like, go on. It's not a big deal. And she said, well, I am a shaman, and I'm going to my friend's house tonight because he has a lot of bad energy in his bedroom. And so I'm going to go cleanse his aura and cleanse the bad energy out of the room. And I was like, well, good luck with all of that. And I spent the rest of the night trying to figure out how not to go out with her the next day because she's hot, but like I can't deal with that.
So she said she would go out with you after you guys had this conversation?
Yes. And then eventually,
And you're saying you're the one that turned her down?
No. So let me finish. Lie! Let me finish. So I'm still thinking like she's crazy clearly, but I gotta go out with her. And so then I was just like later that night I just texted her. I was like, hey, so how did the cleansing go? And then I think I went to sleep that night and I woke up to a text from her at like 5:30 in the morning that she was like, hey, I'm just gonna like I think we should cancel. I can't make it or something like that. And never has responded to a text message from me ever again.
Okay, it might be true now.
Yeah, now that you know.
Yeah, but how many times did you text her after she was like, nah?
I think I texted her like once on Thanksgiving being like Happy Thanksgiving, and another time like Merry Christmas. And
Oh, that's creepy.
So you only text her on the holidays now?
Yeah, that's creepy.
Yeah. But you know what, Jay? Holiday time it was just probably so much congestion in her text messages. She probably just didn't see it.
Yeah. Or she was busy looking at her millions of dollars that she makes on the Big Bang
Possibly.
Theory.
Yes,
Wow.
yes. Well,
Wow.
you text her today.
No, I do. You know how I mentioned in the beginning that you didn't really talk to me when I first got here?
Yeah.
And you never even would make eye contact with me. That's what's giving me a hard time thinking that you would be able to just be that bold with her.
Oh,
in the
I can
first-
totally imagine Jay doing that.
You can see.
Yeah.
I never saw that side in the beginning of him
Yeah.
because he wouldn't look at me in the
Well,
eye.
Why
So-
you wasn't looking Jessica in the eye, bro?
I think it was so like as you know when we first started.
Such disrespect.
When we first started working here, there was a lot of sort of not necessarily, I don't know if hazing's the right, but there's treat the new guys like shit going on.
Yes.
And so I think I subconsciously embodied that when Jessica first started working.
Oh, yeah.
And not even just Jessica, probably when all the other people
Okay.
who came before her were coming through.
I still do that.
Yeah.
I still treat new people like shit.
Okay.
It is a weird thing when you are at the Comedy Store, and once you're in, everyone automatically hugs you and you're in. But then if you're not in, then it's hard to get people to look at you, right?
No, it's
Yeah,
true.
it's true.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a tough place to be a part of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But once you're in, it's freaking awesome.
Punky loved
Yeah.
me from the beginning, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I did.
Yeah.
I was so disappointed when I found out you wasn't a dyke. I was just mad. And then I was like, bye, bitch.
And you're like, let me go back
By
to
the
my
way-
wife, I guess.
That look you just did is a look I always get from you. Like, that bitch. I'm like, all right. Fair enough, Punky. Fair enough.
Yeah, I hate all the beautiful women that don't like women. I hate you all.
Well, Felicia,
too
I know
pretty to be
the
straight.
way to get to Punky's. Like, I know her Achilles heel. If you tell her she has pretty eyes, she will overpour those drinks for you.
Dude,
Hey.
you can't say that. Everyone will know now.
Yeah, I know. Everybody's like, you got beautiful eyes, Punky.
By the way, I could only have one of Punky's drinks, is all I'm saying.
Hey.
So that's a first decent, it's kind of a nice story, right? I thought there would be. It's hard because last week we had Richard Pryor Jr. on, so now it's like.
I mean, what do you want me to say?
No, you had to like a shaman. You had to come in here and cleanse the podcast
Lord.
studio.
I mean, I could have said Sam Kinison fucked me in the ass in his house, but that would be hard to believe because he died when I was like 8. So.
Right. So
Well, you could have
no.
went with her and said that she
Right,
did it
that
with
she
like a
pegged you.
little,
That
Yeah.
would've-
peg,
She did a little
peg rock.
pegging?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of those little wiener belts, you know.
Yeah, a little pegging going on.
I
there?
can't believe that she would just give some door guy her number because she must get hit on all the
I
time.
know,
Yeah, that seems a
right?
little suspicious to
But
me.
if she was a shaman, isn't that an Indian thing? Shaman?
I don't know what. That
Maybe she
is.
likes
I think
Indian.
it's an some type of Asian thing.
Yeah, maybe she's
No, I
got
thought
like
that
a.
was an Well, India is in Asia, right?
Yeah,
I don't
technically.
know. I don't know nothing about geography.
Geography.
All I know is this: if I'm going to cleanse my bedroom of some bad, like energy, I just wash the sheets like that. You don't have to get a shaman in there; just wash your sheets, and
Yeah.
that does the trick.
And she's so pretty, and she's on that show, with like a bunch of geeks
Yeah.
and stuff. That she's probably like, God, every geek thinks I'm into them.
Yeah.
real life.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And I know
Yeah.
I'm sorry to call you a geek.
Yeah, I mean, I would have said nerd, but whatever. I said loser, but whatever.
Well, we're gonna move on to. We're gonna move on to Punky Story, and we'll think about that, and we'll have some questions at another round coming up.
Okay.
So, what's your first story there, Punky?
Which one y'all want first?
Well,
Don't
we can't.
tell
You
us.
can't
No,
tell us.
I'm not saying that. Like, what level? Because both of my stories are kind of psychotic.
It's
Yeah,
up to you.
It's up to you. You're in charge.
All right. Well, let's start with this. I am a sociopath. I stalked my wife before she became my wife.
Well, and I do remember you talking about how your wife wasn't gay when you met her.
My wife was not gay. We got together when we was in high school, very, very young.
Wow.
And we were together for like 8 years. And she battled with her parents about Christianity mixed with being gay, mixed with her parents not approving it. So I had God against me. I had her parents against me, and she had never slept with men before. So I had men against me. So I was just, after 8 years, she was just like, this is it? Oh no, I need dick. I need to praise God. I need to be close to my family. So she broke up with me, and I lost my mind. So I would stalk her. So I would go to work. I would get off at about 2 a.m. I would go buy barbecue potato chips, an Evian bottle of water. I would have marijuana. And sometimes, depending, I would have a diaper. And I would
A diaper?
Yes, because
Do you have a stocking diaper? You mean like a stocking diaper? What do you mean a diaper?
It's just several. It's just it depends. I would, because it depends on how long.
It actually was. It depends. Or
And she had a tree, right? So she lived in this big apartment complex, and they had a dumpster and then a fence, and they had a big tree that I couldn't necessarily see in her house, but I can see her driveway, like if she's driving, if people, I saw. And I would sit in that tree a lot, almost every night after I got off from work. And I would watch her, and I would go crazy. And I was like, if I see any man, I'm going to get out this tree, and I'm going to lose my shit. I was just ready to. I could not handle the fact that she had left me. And I know a big reason why she had left me is because she had never experienced what?
The penis.
Real dick.
She had not been yet penetrated, is what you're saying.
Oh, no, she got dick. It just didn't have a pulse in it.
yeah.
So did you have like hedge clippers ready to go? Be like, oh, if you stick that thing in there, I'm gonna fucking.
I don't know what I was thinking. I was young. I was like 23. I was
Wait.
just crazy.
She had dick, but it didn't have a pulse in it.
Put it
Right.
together, Austin. Put it
come on.
together.
Pegging comment
not-
earlier.
Oh, the wiener belt.
Christian, come on.
Wiener belt.
Gotcha. Sorry.
Wiener
I
belt.
had on a strap on. Do y'all know that strap on spelled backwards is no parts?
Ah,
I just read that the other day.
That's
stunning
awesome.
observation.
So yes, I that's when I realized, okay, I'm a psycho. So I was like, I got to get out of this tree. This is crazy.
Yeah, you got
this is out of control. After a couple months, I'm like, this.
a couple of months.
You
in
were
that
doing
tree?
that for a couple of months?
You damn fucking right, I was.
Now, when you would see her, would you say something or you just very quiet? Was it hard to hold your temper if you saw her like walking?
I never saw her bring anybody home. She must have was always by their house, but she lucky I didn't find where they live. So I was like, okay, this tree shit. First of all, I hate trees. I hate nature. I hate bugs. It was full of mosquitoes. So sometimes I would go up there. I'd be hot because I have my whole body covered.
And this is Louisiana.
It's Louisiana.
Oh, this is Louisiana?
Yeah. So I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I found a house that aims directly to where I could see hers. And I was like, I'm going to go be friends with them people. So I became friends with her back house neighbors. And that's how I started going by their house as much as possible, like 5 days a week. I was like, I just started making up shit. Let's have a game night, card night. Let's just drink. Like, I just started making up stuff and reasons to go by their house.
Who lived in that house?
I can say it, but
Well, what kind of family was it? Was it a family? Was it a
it
person?
was like people like my age. So it was all good. Like we
So
would
it
get
was
together.
like-
We
yeah,
would
was
drink.
it a room of like roommates? Like how many were in the room?
It
in the house?
it wasn't an apartment complex. It was a house. It was
Okay.
a blue house.
How many people lived in it?
3 people.
And they were all young,
All young.
single.
It was a couple and then a person that
Okay.
lived with
No
them. It was
kids
probably
or-
no children.
And she never saw you in the tree?
I don't think so. She just found out that I would stalk her. And
She just found out now?
maybe like a year or two ago. I told her.
That's the right place to say I've been stalking you. Was after a few years of marriage for sure. Yeah.
Oh, she thought it was the most romantic thing ever. And that's when I was like, well, we're both crazy because I was watching you. And she thought it was so sweet. And that's when I was like, you my bitch.
Do you know what I would give for a stalker right now?
See? Exactly.
Even one with a wiener belt?
Not as appealing, but one of those other things.
What,
flashlight?
flashlight?
Yeah. Oh yeah, flashlight. Somebody said that on your picture the other day. That was a creepy little fish. Looks like a flashlight. You said, "How dare you?"
Huh, no clues.
Stalking.
Maybe are you stalking Felicia?
Sometimes, yes.
So let me ask you this: were you wearing clothes where you couldn't be seen in the tree? Did you have like
I
a
didn't think-
particular tree outfit?
I don't think I thought about it.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure I never got bit by mosquitoes. The
Uh-huh.
first time I did it, I got a rude awakening. It's just bugs and moths and crickets and mosquitoes. It was the worst.
And how long did this go on? The tree stalking?
I would maybe 2 or 3 months ish. I mean,
And
this
did you
was-
guys
this was
start
10
dating after that
This
again?
was about 10 years ago, so it's not too bad. I think I was like 23, 24 years old.
And what really grabbed my attention is you said you would go to the store and buy a diaper. Can you buy
Well, you
a
get a
single
box of
diaper?
damn diapers. I had
Yeah.
a box. Okay.
So you wore the diapers in the tree?
It depends on how long I plan to be in the
Were
tree.
they depends?
Yeah,
Will you
I'd
answer
say
that?
It was depends. But the thing is,
Depends.
because sometimes I was like, I'm gonna just go. Like if I knew she was going out, I
Uh-huh.
would try to get there before she get home so I could just see her.
And were there
And-
nights where she didn't spend the night
At all?
at her house?
Everything. Of course,
Uh-huh.
everything. Every
And
day
were
was
you
different.
sitting in
I
the
wasn't-
tree and that depends crying because she
I
wasn't
cried
home?
a lot. I smoked a ton of weed. I was on the phone with friends a lot that was trying to like, this is crazy. You've
While
lost
you
your
were
mind.
in the tree?
Well, because a lot of times I'm like, I just needed somebody on the phone with me.
Oh my God, I love this story.
I'm so sick. Like I just needed somebody there with me.
How
Sometimes.
often were you using the depends? Like,
I didn't pee a lot.
Did you ever poop in your depends?
I never
Okay.
took a shit.
Did the
I never
depends?
took a
about
shit.
she said she was trying to avoid
I'm thinking
mosquitoes.
about-
The poop would definitely draw them.
I never took a shit in the drawer.
How long would you be up there in one sitting?
That's what I'm saying. It depends. I hate these puns. I don't mean to do it. So like if she came home at like 3:00 in the morning and I saw her come home, I would probably stay for another hour to see if another car would pull up.
Uh-huh.
And then if after about 4 and I didn't see and I saw her lights out, I was like, all right, cool, I can leave now.
Jesus Christ.
And no one ever called the police on you?
No one ever saw me.
They didn't see you crawl up
If
the
they
tree?
saw me, they never called the police.
Ever since I've known you, Punky, you have a hard time keeping quiet. And I could not see you in that tree.
You can't see her, but you might have smelt her. Might have smelt those
cannot-
depends.
Imagine you up there just being all quiet.
I didn't want to be seen. Let's be clear. At the time, I was very embarrassed of the things that I was doing.
I could see
I'm
you.
out here. I'm desperate. There's other women in the world, but I don't want them. I feel rejected. I don't want another penis inside my wife's vagina. I've blacked out. I've lost my mind.
But I could see you too, like just the single hoot of an owl, and you'd be like, "Who the fuck hooted? Who the fuck hooted on that? Who's hooting?"
I knew that my father is NOPD. That's the New Orleans Police Department. I knew if I got caught in that tree, it would embarrass him. So I made sure not to get in no trouble while I was out there. I make sure not to get in trouble in life. I don't fight. I don't drink and drive. I don't do nothing to get in trouble with the law. I don't speed. I stop at every stop sign.
All right, just in case Dad's listening.
Wow, so I want to say to the audience, if you guys have any questions, hit us up on YouTube, and Austin will relay what the questions are, or if you have anything you would like to say about any of these two stories.
Matt and Leah are hanging with us today.
Oh,
so
nice,
they're
nice.
keeping tuned in.
Leah.
Matt.
And Pop Pop's already tuned in once.
Yeah, what did Pop
Or,
Pop
or
say?
chimed in. He said, "No way did this nerd turn down Kaylee Coco under any circumstances."
She turned me down at the end of it.
But he said she did cleanse his aura last week, so the shaman thing is probably a fact.
That
The shaman
Kaylee
thing
did?
is real. Yeah.
She
Yeah.
did? How do you know her?
Oh, I use shamans all the time.
Oh, you had a. Oh, not
Yeah.
her, not Kaylee.
No, she came over and cleansed my aura.
Yeah, Kaylee, the shaman.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I'm lying. I'm just practicing.
Oh, Pop Pop's
Friday
a
at
dick.
Ice House.
Something.
Wow. Okay. Well, those are two good. I really like this story of Punky's, and your story was good too. It's very. It's like a quiet story, but you're playing the game, so like that. That's a good story. That's a good story. Why don't we move on to the second story? Unless you have anything you want to ask, Jessica.
No.
I'm just trying to,
Just imagining Punky in a tree. What would you do up there for hours? Hours.
All kind of shit. Just honestly, just stare. I was crazy, man.
You just,
Hey, love will make you do some crazy things.
I couldn't handle it. Just long as I was close to her, I was fine.
So how did you guys? You met in high school,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And were you guys just friends first, and then it?
The first thing, so when I was in high school, I was like a boy. I went to all girls school. Everybody wore skirts. I was the only one with pants. My pants was 3 sizes bigger than mine. So
How did you get away with having pants?
you could wear pants. You had an option. But
Oh,
I was
okay.
one of the only ones that always had pants on. And we had to wear Oxfords. And I would walk in the hallway, and her and a group of her friends would call me pretty boy because I used to wear gray contacts. I always had braids, studs. I was an ignorant motherfucker, right? And the teachers couldn't tell me nothing. They hated it, but they couldn't tell me nothing because I had perfect attendance and good grades. I was a beast. So I'm walking through the hallway, and my wife is sitting there. And she used to be like, "Hey, pretty boy. Hey, pretty boy." That's what she used to call me. And I'd be like, "I'm going to get you. You keep playing with me. You don't know nothing about this dyke life, girl. You gotta calm down. I'm gay for real, bitch." And she fucked up.
Yeah.
She fucked up. And then, like when I tried to, when I tried to get at her, she was like, "I ain't gay." I'm like, "Well, you have to stop talking to me like that. You know that, right?" And then it just went from there. And I like started dating this chick, and she got mad. And she's like, "Who is that?" I'm like, "Bitch, you ain't even gay. Why you in my business?" And she got mad.
So you knew then. You were like,
At that point, I was like, "I got her. I'm gonna get her now."
Wow. All right, let's move on to your second story, Jay.
All right. So when I was 10 years old, my dad pulled me aside, and he told me that he had this big family secret to tell me. And he said that his side of the family was part Jewish. And the way it happened is in 1492 during the Spanish Inquisition.
1492. Christopher Columbus
Sailed the ocean
blue.
Fun
fact.
So a bunch of Jews fled Spain, and some of them settled in India, and they commingled with the locals. And then when the Jews like were allowed to go to Israel, a bunch of the Indian Jews like tried to go, and there's like, no, you're not real Jews. You're corrupted by the Hindu influence. So they went back to India, and so like they weren't respected in India. They weren't respected by the Jews. So it was like a dirty secret that my dad's side of the family had to be ashamed of. And so I was hanging out with a lot of Jewish kids back then because I only went to school with a bunch of Jewish kids. And so my dad was like, so yeah, we're part Jewish, so that's kind of why you have like a natural affinity for them. But you can't tell anybody about it. Like your mom can't find out.
A natural affinity for Jewish people?
Yes. And so he said you can't tell your mom about this.
I know. Oh no! Why
You're
did you
gonna
bring
get me
this
in
up,
trouble.
Jay? I know.
was
She's
just
gonna be
told
all over you now.
That I'm not allowed to talk about Jewish people on the podcast anymore.
I'm just like you.
What do you say about Jews?
I'm just like you have to be
He's part
gentle.
Jewish.
You have to be gentle.
I'm genuinely curious because I never met any Jewish people really until I got into comedy.
Oh yeah.
So-
Me too.
Right. So I met skinheads before I knew any Jewish
Me
people.
too.
Yeah.
I'm from Texas, so I met a fair amount of both skinheads
Right.
and Jewish people. They'd be on opposite sides of the cafeteria. But, so I had this like sort of secret that my dad's side of the family was part Jewish that I wasn't allowed to really talk about it. But like I remember I would tell all my Jewish friends, I'm like, guys, I'm one of you. Like, can I fit in now? Can I be a part of the? So I go to like the Jewish youth group meetings and. And when I was in college, I would go to like the little what they call the Hillel meetings, which is like when all the Jewish students get together, and I go to like services every Friday, and then I went on a birthright trip where you go to Israel for free if you're of Jewish descent, and I went to Israel, and then I moved to Los Angeles, and I was probably about like 24, I was at like 25, 26 at this point. And I remember I mentioned something to my dad. I was like, oh, I'm going to go to the Laugh Factory. They do free Rosh Hashanah services. And my dad's like, what? What are you talking about? I said, Rosh Hashanah, because we're part Jewish, because, I'm the only son you could trust with that secret. And he said, oh, my God, I can't believe you still believe that.
Jay's naive.
Yeah. Some parents let their kids believe in the Easter Bunny or, the Tooth Fairy. My dad lets me believe I was Jewish well into my 20s. And
Why did your dad say that to you?
It was my dad kind of has like a weird sense of humor, so it was like a practical joke that he let go on for too long. But then the way he would justify it is he said, you went to school with Jewish girls. Jewish girls only want to date Jewish boys. You're a terrible liar, so I had to make you think that you were Jewish in order to get a date with a girl.
Both of yours are about dating.
So your daddy is a Mac. He helped you out, son.
I'm the one who screwed it up on my own.
Your daddy helped you get you laid.
He tried.
Wow, that is. So did you automatically then stop doing anything or like hanging out in any groups or?
Yeah, do you go to
going
Rosh Hashanah anymore?
No, I don't go to Rosh Hashanah. I still have like a close group of Jewish friends, and I tend to I still use a lot of like Yiddishisms in daily conversation, but I dated a Lebanese Palestinian girl for a while, and they are not friends of the Jews, so she hated that. She hated the fact that I had an Israel stamp in my passport.
So you went to wow. I guess that wow. You went to do, what is that called when they
Birthright.
go the birthright? You actually did that?
I did.
Yeah.
What, did your dad not say
yeah.
then?
Yeah. Wasn't your dad like, why are you doing the birthright thing? Yeah.
He dropped me off at the airport. He was probably laughing the whole way home.
No.
Don't you get laid though for your birthright?
Oh, if you do it right, yeah. Those are just hookup trips, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot. I was like, I would be
Jay.
in bed by midnight. I'd be up at 6.
How old are they when they do the birthright?
They're anywhere from like 16 to 25. I was 25. I was on a trip. I was at like the cutoff point. It was me and my best friend Schneider, and
Schneider.
I bet you Schneider got laid though.
There was one hotel room we had
Schneider.
where we had a balcony with a great view of the city. And neither one of us had sex with a girl on the balcony. It was some other guy boning some girl on our balcony while we were like asleep in our room.
You don't have to yell at me
Well,
about
I
it.
would be angry if I was a guy and I had a beautiful balcony.
Oh my God.
Some
Jay.
other guy was humping on it.
Yeah.
So this is a crazy story. I just can't imagine that your dad would let it go on for this long till you're 25 to
Yeah.
go to birthright. He took you there and he was like, "What are you doing?" Did he
you get
ask you why?
circumcised?
Oh, good
That's,
question.
uh,
Good question. Yes, good question.
So,
Yeah.
So scary.
Did you get circumcised?
So I was always told that my dad always told me that I was not circumcised because he didn't believe in it for a hygienic reason. He thought that circumcision was wrong. He didn't believe that it was an arcane thing. And one day I remember I thought to myself, because I think in health class we had a whole thing about circumcised versus uncircumcised, and I thought, I never actually have noticed, I've never knew what the difference with the way it looked was. And so I Google imaged circumcised versus uncircumcised penis, and then I looked down and I looked up and I looked down and I was like, I guess the hospital did not listen to my dad's request to not circumcise me, because it definitely looked like the circumcised one.
So you don't have any extra skin that you have to pull back?
So you're saying you are or you are not circumcised? I'm a little confused.
I believe, according to the Google image I saw of a circumcised penis, I think I am circumcised, but somehow my dad was always led to believe that I was
Okay, now this I
uncircumcised.
cannot take. We need to know if you're circumcised.
Yeah,
we need
yeah.
somebody to
Some
help you out
girl
with this.
in your lifetime.
see.
Yeah, never said.
Get a neutral party, Punky.
Let me see.
Look, we don't mean to. We're not sexually harassment, but show us your dick right now. No, I'm kidding. This is what I'm struggling with. I'm struggling with that you're saying because you looked at health pictures, you think you might be circumcised. Because there was no girl that ever sucked your dick that said, "What's up with the?
All right,
what's up with this?"
So then, for a while, I was dating this girl, and she and I used to get lasered at the same place, and she said that
Laser hair removal?
Yeah.
Okay.
So she said that one day she was getting lasered, and this was maybe a day or two after I got lasered, and she said something like, so my technician was saying to me that she had to laser a guy who was uncircumcised, and they had to warn her that he was uncircumcised. She had never seen an uncircumcised penis before, so she was talking to me about that, and I was thinking, I was just in there 2 days ago. Was that me? I don't know.
Pop said run in there and show him real quick.
Yes. Would you please? Would you please?
There's no cameras in there,
There's
so
no
we would
cameras.
He has a pop camera. We established this at the beginning.
never. Liars
We
Club.
tried. You tried.
Oh, I love that you're trying to take context clues to find out if you're circumcised.
Here's the dude. You drink your bottle of water like Trump.
Oh my God. Is that how
He just said that.
After that lie, he's shaking. He's nervous.
Well, here's the thing that so you're trying to make us believe that your father convinced you that you were Jewish so that you could get with some Jewish chicks and have sex with them. But then he didn't circumcise you, because if he wanted you to be with Jewish chicks, why didn't he get you circumcised 100% so
but now
everybody
he
would
thinks he
know?
is circumcised from pictures.
Leah said, "Whip it out, whip it out, whip it out."
Hey.
We do need
Wow.
a doctor or something. We need to know if you're circumcised.
You know what? I'm actually.
So is there a little head that is just always there? Is there a little helmet? Is the helmet always there?
I mean, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, but it's not hiding. It doesn't look like it's
No.
scared.
No anteater.
It's just there.
nostrils.
No.
Yeah.
It's out there.
Yeah.
It's kind of inconvenient. I'm not gonna lie, but
So
Your penis is inconvenient?
well, there's that too. But yeah, I just meant the way that the head is it's.
all right, I'm just gonna let you know that Callie Cuoco never is gonna go with uncircumcised dick. I'm letting you know. You dodged a bullet.
So
on
you
that
are,
one.
She
so
was with
you
Johnny
are
Galecki, so.
uncircumcised.
I don't know
He
anymore.
doesn't know.
He doesn't
let me touch
know.
Because I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take
you were pissed about your wife having dick. How do you think she's gonna feel about you touching a dick?
This
I
is
think
science.
this
Perfectly
is a
fine.
scientific thing. I don't think she would be
This is
upset
science.
about
Yeah,
it,
it's
right?
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funk Chow made me hold his penis the other day while we had a conversation.
Please.
Is Feng Chao
Did he have
circumcised?
was he cut or uncut?
Oh, he
Turtleneck
cut.
or crew neck?
He cut.
Okay.
My wife was standing right there. Punk Chow put my hand in his pants, and he was like, "Hold my dick."
I didn't
while
think the
I talk
Chinese
to you.
people did that.
Wow.
He's a different type
He's a
of
different
Chinese
kind of guy.
Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting story. Any questions? Austin, do you have any questions about
Yeah.
Jay's?
Did you ever go to
uncircumcised?
temple?
I did. I used to go to services every Friday. I actually thought I was being a good Hindu, so I would go to like the Hindu temple during the day, and then I'd go to the Jewish temple at night. And my friends would always be like, "You can't do that because at the Hindu temple you have to worship idols, and at the Jew, like in one of the 10 Commandments is you can't worship idols." And I was like, "Oh, I wasn't really like worshiping them. Maybe we were hanging out. I don't know, but."
Wow.
Wow. You know what gets me about your stories is in order to believe one, that means the other one is not true. That's so fucked up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and you're more animated telling this story, so I don't know you
Way
well enough.
faster talking,
Yeah,
like-
I don't know you enough to understand if you're being animated means you're lying.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
I think your dad
Now,
is.
now you're doing that Larry David stare at me, like.
No, I'm just like,
Yeah, I have a hard time believing. I think most men know if they're circumcised. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm caught on
yeah,
this.
it is
but
weird. It's weird.
Maybe I subscribe to the theory ignorance is bliss, okay?
Or maybe you're a real man and you don't know how other penises look.
Yeah, there's that too.
You
I
don't want to
never
see
looked
that
at somebody
shit.
else's-
You want to
You've
know
been-
how your dick look. And
You've
that's
been in
it.
a gym. You've been in a gym.
With
You
your-
don't go to no damn gym.
Look, if I see an old dude walking in the locker room, I don't go in because I know he's going to be walking out balls out.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you care about if some old guy shows his balls?
Yeah.
I'd just rather not see it.
Right.
I'm not
Me
going to put it out there, so why
Yeah.
should I have to?
Yeah.
You know, live and let live, man.
Interesting.
I just think you're a
Interesting.
man. A real man.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
I'm
Punky.
with Jessica because I was with one guy who wasn't circumcised, and I can't believe that you would know if you were circumcised or not. And that's the lie, right? What is the exact lie? It's just that your father told you were Jewish and you weren't Jewish.
Yeah.
Did you just fake him out?
No.
You just
So
straight
this-
up asked him what's the lie.
No, I'm
No,
just
the
saying
lie that his father told
that
him.
is, yeah,
Oh,
what's the lie
the-
to
yeah,
play the
the-
game?
The
yeah.
circumcision thing was like a whole side conversation.
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Or
yeah.
does it add to the lie?
yeah. God. All right, that's interesting. All right, your second story, Punky.
I'm so on your side, but I'm so lost.
My sentiments exactly.
Yo, so you know how people find out in your family that you gay and they kind of just like not y'all wouldn't know how that feel because y'all not gay, but people could find out something about you and your family and they'll kind of shun away from you because
Yeah.
it's different from the family.
Yeah.
All the men in my family was happy I was gay. My dad was happy, my brothers, my uncles, they was all like, shit, we about to turn you into a man. You about to be out here getting these hoes. We gonna teach you how to have everything. Trust me, you about to be the biggest dyke pimp out here. Like, they was excited for me. Like it was a graduation or something, right? So maybe when I
I'm
got
sorry to interrupt. How old were you when you?
I was like 13.
Okay.
I was like 13 years old. And I got caught being gay, by the way. Her mama, this chick I was with, her brother saw us doing stuff. He told her mama, and her mama came busting down my door and was like, where your mom at? I know you been fucking my daughter. I went into straight panic attack. It was weird. But let's speed up to about 10 years later, right? My brother, he's so happy. Takes me to a strip club. Lo and behold, I get to the strip club. One of my homegirls worked there. I was like, what you doing working here, girl? What the fuck? So he gets her to pay. He pays her. She gives me lap dances. He's like, you think you know what you're doing? I'm going to teach you what to do, you know? So we get this girl fucked up. We fucked up. And since I know her, she trusts me to come back to my house, right? So we just laying down in the bed. We kind of chilling. My brother like, hey, we going to fuck this girl. I was like, that's my friend. I can't fuck her. He's like, nah, trust me. You need to learn some shit. So some kind of way he got her to consent. Now, I don't know if we was running a train on her or sort of kind of having a threesome, or I don't know what it was doing, but me and my brother fucked this chick together. I I'm for real.
What position?
It was the funnest shit. Like
What position was?
every time he was banging her, and the good thing about my brother was, I'm about to tell you right now, he was okay. He was like, get your dick. He's like, I got my dick. You get your dick. I'm gonna show you some moves.
Your wiener belt.
My wiener belt. So when he get in, he'll show me some shit, and then he'll be like, all right, well, go ahead and handle that. And then we'll flip it up. Every position we was in, I went after him. And sometimes he was like, you go first. Show me what you got. I'm like, all right. And then he'll go. He'll be like, nah, this how it go. And, I had to get me too. So, not me too. I had to get mine as well. So, one time.
Did you really worried about getting yours with your brother there?
Oh, I needed to get mine. I always got to get mine. So, I took my wiener dick off, or wiener circle, or switch, or whatever the fuck.
Belt.
And while he was hitting her from the back, I was like, you gonna eat this pussy. So, I was getting some head.
From the
It was
girl.
good head. Mm-hmm.
And did you and your brother high five at that moment to make like an
Oh,
Eiffel
me and my
Tower
brother,
type
he was
thing?
just looking at me the whole time.
You guys had eye contact with your brother?
It was the weirdest, sexiest, awkwardest type of situation that I had ever been in.
Was it an older brother?
My brother is about 6 years older than me.
Did you see his wiener?
I did.
Was he circumcised?
He is circumcised. My brother does not have no extra skin.
I don't know. Wow. And how old were you at the time when this
I
happened?
was probably, let me see, I was staying on York Street at the time, so I was probably about 23 or 24.
Oh my!
And it was
God.
fantastic because that was right around the time when my wife broke up with me. And
Uh-huh.
So you're
and it was-
stalking your wife at night,
stalking
and you're
my
having
wife.
a three-way with your brother during the day.
No.
You know,
That
this-
happened
this-
at night.
This puts you
It
up
was a
there
strip
with
club.
me when I slept with my cousin. This kind of puts you on that.
I didn't technically sleep with my brother.
Well,
So
no,
that's why
I
was
think
like,
technically.
Did your brother touch your naked body at all?
he never touched me.
Okay.
So that's why I don't know if that's why I'm like, it's kind of a threesome, but
See,
it was
this
more of a
is why
train.
But see, I think if you had not made her eat you out in front of him,
But the way I did it, like the
then
way I
I
made
kind
her,
of would have been all right with this.
the way,
I want to know what Thanksgiving was like this
I
year.
forgot to tell you that whatever is said on this podcast should not be reflected upon the Comedy Store.
so here's the thing, right? The way I made her give me head was such masculine. Like I didn't lay down. She was
this.
Yeah, I was doing all of that because I have a hefty amount of vagina, so it made sense. But she was bent over. He was hitting from the back, and I just stood. She was on the bed, and I just went around, and I just stood and like threw it in her mouth.
Wait
So
a
he's-
minute. No,
so-
explain that. So he's doing her from behind, and then you walked on the other side of the bed. So she's this way with her mouth like this.
Yeah.
And you just stood there.
I just stood there and let her get
Did you
it.
put your leg up on the
I
bed?
didn't put my leg up. I looked like a real man. It was like, yeah, yeah, get that.
Leah said she hopes this one is not true.
My brother was trying to help me out.
So here's the thing. I can kind of understand
Leah.
the males being excited or being happy that the female in the family is gay because when my brother had a daughter, I said to him, you know what? If she's gay when she's a teenager, I'm okay with that because that means she can't get pregnant. So, I can see that. I can see.
Yeah, but can you? I could even see him instructing her with a girl.
My brother?
But yeah.
Yeah, of
It'd be
course.
like back and forth. Okay, this is how I do my hips. You right here. All right, now you try it, right? And then you would try.
Is that what he did, Punky? Is that what he did?
It depends on the position.
Right. Okay.
I mean, it just
Did you
depends.
do any where the girl was on top?
No.
It was strictly
She rode
trying to
him,
learn
though.
your
She
long
rode-
stroke.
She rode him though.
She rode him.
I like if I got my thing on, I like to be in control. I don't
Wiener
like
belt.
Yes, that. My WB.
It's okay.
What?
I hate to even ask because I know I shouldn't even delve in this realm, but
This is a good Christian boy over here.
Yeah, he goes to
He
church all the time.
lives with his
From
church.
Florida.
That's why he
pastor.
calls it wiener belt. He can't say what it really is. What is it really called?
It's just a strap.
Or it's a strap on?
But-
Say strap on. Don't say wiener boy. Wiener
belt.
belt like a little pussy.
so
say
do
strap
you
on.
get, does it work for
I
you
do not
too?
get penetrated. No. I don't-
Do you
what does
make
it do
ones
for you?
where there's like a little vibrating thing for?
So it doesn't do anything for you. You're
stimulation?
That's
just
why I took it off and got some head.
so you're just strictly pelvic work, and
Well, here's the thing. I like to do it because it's just this control thing, you know.
that's good exercise.
It's good exercise. It's great control. I love being crazy. I just like to have sex.
Yeah.
Now, did you still have your pants on and just kind of unzipped?
Were you
No,
all the way
no.
naked?
I took my pants off.
Yeah, I don't buy that you were standing there just standing there without a leg up or anything like that. Because if I was being penetrated from the back, hold on, let me fantasize about that for a second.
Now, can I mention something that you say about yourself in your stand-up?
Mm-hmm.
Now, she says that she's an hermaphrodite and has like a bigger
I have a
clitoris.
hefty size situation.
Right.
So if you're just standing there, will your clit poke out between the lips?
Y'all want to see a picture? I mean,
Under pressure. Don't whip.
I'll
it
show
out.
you right now.
You two should show each other.
I'll pull it
Thanks.
up right now so y'all can be like, oh, that's why you were able to do this.
Okay. Oh. But when you were doing that, she wasn't choking on it or anything
Nah,
like
it's
that.
not that big.
It's more like eating a little cherry or
It's
something.
not that big.
It's like a doorstop, right?
Okay, here we go.
No, no,
Oh,
we can't get on the phone. We can't.
Oh,
we
Lord.
can't Google your vagina. We're not allowed to Google.
It's in my favorites in my phone.
Okay.
In my photos.
Wow, this
I just thought
is-
maybe that would help you.
Right. This is after last week when we did Richard Pryor Jr. saying that he had sex with Sam Kinison, I was like, oh, today's going to be a little bit of a letdown. It's not. It's not at all. These are awesome stories. And I mean, they're really out there, but they're awesome
We got
stories.
some freaks in our family, man.
All right. Any questions on YouTube?
Leah just commented again and said that just when you think things can't get any weirder, Jess always is able to up it a little.
No, it's totally true.
Here's a fresh one from Leah. I'm reading it live, so I don't know what she said. I say girlfriend stalking in the tree is true. This one is fake. I say Kaylee Coco story is real. Jewish story is fake. I'm always wrong, so do what you want with that answer.
But no, I think she actually might be right on. Why don't you give us a quick, brief rehash of the stories, real quick?
All right, we'll start with Jay. Story one: he was working at the store for a very handsome Chris Spencer's birthday show. Kaylee Coco walks in, and when she left, she gave him her number, which is pretty unbelievable, right? And then they went out a week later against her better judgment because she was kind of like, we should.
No, we didn't go out. We talked about.
Oh,
it, but
yeah.
I asked her
I'm
out.
sorry. Yeah, they were texting about going out, and she's like, "Nah, we should just get to know each other." Then she admitted to being a shaman and had to cleanse her friend's place, so he was thinking he wanted out of it, but then text to ask about the cleansing, how'd it go? And she's texting 5:30 that morning, canceled, never responded to another text from him.
So you didn't go on that night, right?
Yeah.
You didn't have like a
We
warm
never
up spot or no? When the day you met her here at the comedy
No,
store,
I was
she
working the
didn't
cover
see you.
booth.
Yeah, so she didn't see you
No.
go on,
I was wearing that same shirt that Punky was wearing.
and you weren't even a door guy. You were working the cover booth.
Yeah. Well, I guess I was still technically considered a door guy.
I'm starting to believe you were Jewish. So for the second story, he was a lot faster talking, like totally.
Yes.
Like
Totally
almost, like
nervous.
Yeah.
nervous.
Yeah.
And he nervously Trump drank the water, as Felicia said.
That's was kind of disturbing to see you Trump drink that water.
That was weird.
Can you do it for us again?
Yeah, a little waterfall action. So for his second story, according to Google Images, by the way, he is circumcised, so we'll just get that out of the way. He was 10, and his dad said, "I gotta lay a bomb on you. We're Jewish because a bunch of Jews fled Spain and went to India, but they were corrupted by Hindu. Nobody respected them. So that explains his natural affinity for the Jews, which, if you know him, I don't, but I've heard things.
Was
that he's
Christopher
very-
Columbus Jewish?
I
No.
don't think so. I think it was an Englishman.
It's pretty hard to
Protestant.
tell because it was so hidden. Like people practice in secret a lot, right? Yeah. So
Well, that explains the natural affinity. His dad said, "Tell no one," but he told all his buddies that he was a Hindu. His words, not mine. Then went to the Jewish meetings for youths, and he took when he was 25, he took a birthright trip with Snyder, his buddy, to Israel. Snyder. Then he found out that his dad was a liar like 15 or so years later. And he still has a lot of Jewish friends despite the fact that he's not a Jew because his dad was a liar. He also had a girlfriend who hated Israel stamped his passport. Like she was Palestinian or something.
Yeah.
But I thought they didn't do the whole passport stamp anymore.
I don't know. I went to Cuba and they stamped my passport,
Well,
or they
this
almost
would
stamped
have
my
been a
passport.
while back when he was
Yeah,
25.
that's true too.
How old are you?
I'm 34.
Oh, well, I thought you were
Yeah.
younger. Sorry. Punky Story. Story 1. She is a sociopath. Facts. That's her words, not mine. She stalked her wife when they were in high school. Her parents were against her. Her girlfriend was against her, and God was against her, which, by the way, God is never against you. He's always with you. You can always seek his refuge. Then she takes some...
Turn this into a sermon.
I just want Punky to know.
I'm just saying.
Jesus
he wasn't
loves you.
against me. He was against the relationship.
Right.
So the church say, but I
Yeah,
didn't believe it.
Right, he hates the sin, not the sinner.
Shut
then
up.
We don't believe it's a sin. Shut
I don't
up.
believe
Yeah,
it's sin either.
yeah. You can't be throwing that around when the only dirty thing you can say is a wiener belt.
Wiener belt. Then she takes some chips, some Evian, and some good dank, and camps out in a diaper under the big tree of the girl's house. Climbs up there, which, by the way, Pop commented and said, "You ain't never climbed a tree." Punky,
You don't know my life, bitch.
Punky would just sit
We're
there
about
and
to know more about you than we want.
all right. She would
Either
just
way.
sit there and she'd watch a
He
lot.
knows you got a big old clit.
Oh Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so then she found a house nearby and became friends with the back house neighbors. She later said she was 23 years old. Oh yeah, because what year? When was this that you were like stalking?
She said
Yeah,
23.
She broke up with me 8 years after we got together. So
So
I
y'all
was
were dating
like
through high school,
16,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And how long were you guys apart?
3 years.
3
or 4 years.
She
Then we
went.
got married.
She went to an all girl school, but she was kind of the swagger gentleman of the school,
Yes.
and so they all called her Pretty Boy. And her GF knew nothing about the dyke life at the time. So second story. She was about 13 and got caught being gay by a girl's brother, but the men in her family were all about making her a badass dude. So her brother took her to a strip club, and they talked a stripper into banging on York Street, first with her wiener belt and then with his real life wiener. And then Punky made the girl give her some mouth love.
Mouth love.
So was it on the edge of the bed? Because was it a single bed?
It was just
Was
a
it-
queen size
It
bed.
was a queen. So because it would have been hard. Obviously, if he's doing it doggy style, she's gonna either be. Was he on the bed with her, or did he have his feet on
She
the
was
ground?
edge. She was cat corner at the bottom corner. of
Right,
the
like
bed, but facing the closet. So my closet was here. So this is the bed. She's cat corner
right.
this way. So her
okay.
face is here. So I just walked right here, and he's banging here.
I don't know
Right.
if let's just be practical. Let's just be practical. So if there's a chick and she's being banged from the back, and she's like that, and she's all like, "Ah," I wouldn't want. I'm being completely serious. I'm sad to say, but I would think that would be. And you're just standing there. I don't think. I don't buy that part. I think all the other stuff is true. I guess we're gonna.
Well, was it more smooth strokes at that point, or was he really banging it out?
It was inconsistent.
So now you're trying to say you're better at it than your brother.
he'll go slow, and then he'll bang it out. He'll go slow, then he bang it out.
How many brothers do you
God,
have?
I might
Punky?
want
It
to
was
meet your
specific
brother.
that I have two brothers.
You have two brothers.
One is a sociopath like me, and that was the one I was with that night. And the other brother is big time heavy Christian.
Are we gonna take a vote? You want to take a vote or do you
Wait,
wanna
I
ask
have
one? Okay.
some new facts that might have come to light.
Okay.
This comes from Pop.
Okay.
And as we all know, he is an authority on all things that go on in this room and most of the people that come through.
Okay.
He says Jay's second story is a lie because Jay is Jewish. And he knows that to be a fact, he said.
He does.
Would you care to comment or rebut? Or Pop, would
Have
you
you
care
seen
to...
him in a
I was
yarmulke?
gonna say I don't recall us having this
Yeah,
conversation.
where did he get
but-
that information?
Everybody knows Jay Mandyam is Jewish. Everybody knows that.
How do they know?
Everybody knows that.
It's just plain facts.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, would you care to rebut in any way, or because I have another fact, and this one's for Punky, from the same authority.
I mean, look, if Brett is going to say that I'm Jewish because he knows it, I don't recall ever telling him that. I don't recall us ever discussing this. But if he knows it and he says everybody knows it, then
Everybody knows it.
All right, Pop says everybody knows it. So, in the other revelation, we find out that Punky's threesome story must be a lie. She has 2 brothers. One's a Christian. The other one's a sociopath like her. Brett says one of her brothers is gay.
Punky's brother is gay. Everybody knows that. Everybody. Everybody
Brett,
knows
I didn't
that.
realize everybody knows these things.
You talking about my brother that got the fiance woman, or you talking about my brother
Yeah.
that got the wife
Yeah.
and 6 kids?
Yeah, both of them.
They're both gay.
What is like Brett is like the quiet guy at the store just taking down all this odd information about everybody.
And then he backs it up with everybody. knows.
Everybody knows. Everybody knows. Wow.
So are those real details? or not?
So did Brett just be like, oh, everybody knows Richard Pryor Jr. fucked Sam Kinison?
he
wasn't
wasn't
here.
for that one. He wasn't here for that one.
But when I told him, he was like,
I did
yeah.
know that. I did know that. Everybody knew that.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, I would. Anyway, so let's take a vote. Who do we want to vote for on first, Jessica?
Well, I do want to say that I was feeling really girly today, and I almost felt like crying earlier, and you guys really fixed that. So thank you.
It's not too late. We can still pull it out of you if you need it.
Hey, Brett, did everybody know that she felt like crying earlier?
No,
Yeah, Brett.
everybody actually didn't know that, but it was pretty obvious when she brought her grumpy ass in.
She was very
Yeah,
grumpy.
she was very quiet,
She
yeah.
was Sacramento hungover, Jessica, for like 10
for about
minutes
a
before the
second,
show.
yeah. So let's take a vote on Jay's stories first. The first story being your dad told you you were Jewish when you were
That's
10.
the second story.
Oh, that's the second. So the first story was Kaylee Cuoco.
Cuoco.
Yeah, and that she gave you her number. You're the door guy. Not even the door guy. You were at the booth. I say that's a lie.
Wait, what is this? Not even a door guy. When I
Because
was
if-
working here, you checked IDs, you sat there,
I know,
and
but-
then you became the cover booth person. Like,
I know, but if you are a TV star and you're coming into an establishment and someone is being behind the booth, that's not a door guy. That's a behind the booth guy.
And
In
let's
your
be,
mental,
let's
yeah, I
be
don't-
real. You're not known for being smooth.
And what year? What year was this?
this would have been 2011.
Peak Big Bang fame.
That's like season 2 or 3.
yeah, but still, I'm gonna say the first one is a lie. Do you have any questions you want to ask Punky? By the way,
No, but I can tell you that I think the first. Can I say what
yes,
I
of
think?
course you can. Yes.
Jay, you're a very sweet man. Any woman would be lucky to have a man like you. But I do not think that woman gave you her phone number.
All right.
This is from a woman who used to climb in a tree with it depends on. She doesn't buy it.
Did you get that little? All right.
Okay. I do not think she did.
Yeah, I don't think so. What about you, Jessica?
I'm kind of leaning towards you probably wanted to be Jewish, because I'm curious about it too. I get it.
Do you think?
So you think the second story is true,
Yeah.
and the first story, along with us, is
Is a lie.
a lie? And what about you, Austin?
Man, I want to be the contrarian, but I can't because I'm with you. I just can't imagine
Oh, we
that.
all agree.
Yeah,
that
and Brett's the opposite, though, right? Is
Well, I believe the first story is true because everybody knows Kaylee Cuoco's a slut.
Oh my God.
Everybody
the
knows.
Everybody
views
what
and
the
whatever.
view said
Everybody knows.
of the Comedy Store do not
Yeah, there you
reflect
go, there
that
you go.
sentiment.
Also, it would be a big violation of Comedy Store policy if you
no.
ask anyone for their phone number.
This is during
There
the
you
Dean
go.
Oh.
Yes.
What? Punky, this is during the Dean Gelber years. There's
That's
no
policy?
there's no policy, there's no handbook, there's no
I was doing that to protect you, G.
Listen, Leah wants to know what her hairstyle was at the time.
Oh, good question, Leah.
it was
Good question.
it was long-haired Kaylee Cuoco.
Not short-haired.
No.
When did you become short-haired?
That's probably like 2016 maybe.
Okay.
Wow, you do know a lot about her.
All right, so Leah says that the first story is also a lie. Is that what she said?
Leah, the last time that I checked, whether she thought that the both second stories of both people were a lie.
Yeah.
So she actually thinks the Jewish story is a lie, and she thinks that Punky's second
Well,
story.
we're probably in
threesome
the
is a
right
lie.
direction.
Yeah. All right.
That's
so,
true. That's a good. That you know what? That's a good point.
All right. So which one is the lie, Jay?
The lie is the Kaylee Cuoco story.
Duh.
And I'll tell you what. First of all, What should have been the first trigger that you would have known it was a lie is I said she came to Chris Spencer's birthday show. Nobody in white Hollywood knows who Chris Spencer is.
That is not true. That is not true. I just did an event with Chris Spencer, and there was
married to a white lady.
Yeah, and there was like Gary Busey was there or something. Yeah.
Well, maybe at the time.
Yeah.
Right, that wasn't the dead giveaway. Jay, I'm sorry.
The dead getaway is you were in the booth. Ain't no girl gonna come in and fuck
the
a booth
first
guy.
trigger, but a similar story did happen with an actress named Tamala Jones.
Oh.
She was in the Chris Rock movie Head of State. I did manage to get her number while I was working the cover booth once.
Oh, okay. So you switched out who the actress is. Oh, that's a smart way to go about that.
Spicy.
Wow. All right.
And you really don't know if you're circumcised?
I mean, yeah, that part's true. Like,
You really don't know that you're circumcised.
I have never gone to a doctor and asked.
I could tell you. You know?
Yeah. After
this isn't a you show me yours, I'll show you mine.
I don't know.
situation.
This is
Can I just-
interesting.
pretty set
Can
up
I just
that
say
way.
something here?
Yes.
If he doesn't know if he is or isn't, he is. Because if you weren't
Right.
circumcised, you would know that. Because the head of your dick would always be covered up by the skin. And if it's not, that means you're circumcised. It's pretty
You're right.
easy.
I'm going to go with Pop Pop on this one.
Everybody knows that.
Pop Pop is the
Everybody-
authority.
I'm surprised you didn't go with everybody knows Jay
Everybody
Mandyam is
knows.
circumcised.
Okay. So that means your father did lie about the
My
Jewish.
father made me believe I was Jewish. And,
Yeah.
I went on a birthright trip and everything. Yeah.
Wow. Did it hurt your feelings when you found out it wasn't true? Like, why did I waste all this time? Were you pissed?
No, because it kind of like it felt freeing. It felt like, oh, I don't have to be a part of this religion that I don't necessarily agree with. Okay, cool. And then it was just like, oh, yeah, that's the kind of stuff my dad does. He had a warped sense of humor.
So are there other things that your dad told you that where you're just like, now I can't believe whatever he tells me? I mean, that's a pretty big lie.
My dad did once tell me that Cosby stole all of his jokes. And the thing is, my dad was very meticulous about his practical jokes or lies.
Well, you guys
whatever
were the
you wanna
long
call them.
con, obviously.
Because the dates he gave me about when Cosby would have stolen his jokes all checked out about like where Cosby was in his life and where they would have
Was
run
your dad
into
a
each other.
stand-up?
No. But
What do you mean Cosby stole it?
my dad claims that he knew a very unfunny black comedian back in the 50s when he first came to America, and my dad would tell him stories about like sleeping in the same room as his brother. And then my dad went back to India, and then he said when he came back in like the early 60s, he turned on the television and that unfunny black comedian was on TV doing my dad's jokes. And again, Cosby's first like Tonight Show appearance was in the early 60s. Like all his dates checked out. Like he was a very well-researched
What
man.
did your dad do for a living?
He was a professor.
Professor of lies.
If Bill Cosby did this,
Uh-huh.
that would be the worst thing he's ever done.
Oh, Brett.
Stealing jokes?
That's unheard of.
Stealing jokes?
Well, Cosby admitted to stealing one of Carlin's jokes, so you
Terrible.
know it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Well, let's move on over to Punky's two stories. The first story is when her and her wife broke up for 3 years, that she climbed a tree where her wife lived in a Depends diaper, and she'd smoke weed in a tree waiting for her wife to come. Did you smoke the weed in the tree or before? Yeah, waiting to. You didn't
Smoke
think the.
trees in the tree.
If I needed to. I
Yeah.
had a whole bunch of just in cases.
Uh-huh. What size Depends do you wear? That's my
A
question.
medium.
A medium.
Everything is a
then,
medium.
Even then, though?
Everything
And how much
is a
does
medium.
that hold?
Yeah.
What you mean? Like how much does it hold in a box, or how much
No,
piss
how much?
will it hold?
Yeah, how much piss and
I didn't really pay it too
Did you ever
much.
sit in there?
I just had it on as a just in case. I drank a lot of water. I
So,
drank a
so
lot of water.
supposing your wife had seen you and was like, "Come in, I missed you. Let's get together." She would have undressed you and seen those Depends, and you would have been okay with that?
This woman has seen me in my darkest hours. That's why I love her. So
Yeah, I don't think you climbed a tree. I can't see you sitting up there all hot and sweaty and the mosquitoes and the nature around you and you being quiet that long. None of this adds up.
Oh,
Yeah.
but you could see me having a threesome with my brother.
Yes.
Who may or may not be gay.
Yes.
I don't know about the threesome with your brother. Cause
She's from Louisiana.
I know, but I
What is
grew
that
up.
supposed to
I
mean?
have an older brother, and I just can't imagine. Like the worst we ever did is play strip pokers, like with the neighborhood kids. Like, and I remember. But that is crazy.
Yeah, but think about if her brother actually saw her as another brother.
I know,
Right?
but then you're having sex with your brother, and then your brother's like, "Yeah, do this." You'd be like, "Shut up! You ain't my fucking boss." You know how you are with your brother. Still, even as an adult, you still kind of are that way sometimes with your brother. Do you ever argue with your brother as an adult?
Yes, I did.
So that I just can't imagine a brother and sister would get along that well that they would do that. I don't know.
I think we all come from fucked up families,
Uh-huh.
and that would make sense to me. Maybe that says a lot more about where I come from,
Uh-huh.
but yeah.
What do you think, Jay?
I just can't imagine anybody having a three-way with their brother.
I'd like to call it a train.
Yeah, but if it was
Well,
two,
Jessica had sex with her cousin, so that, I mean,
Yeah, my dad tried to arrange my marriage to my cousin, so I don't that like all that kind of cousins seem to make sense to me.
but brother.
This is running a train because she did not kiss her brother or feel
But
on her
just the
brother.
fact that like her brother would have seen her naked body, that's the part that I'm like, he wasn't creeped out by that at all.
I wasn't naked.
yeah, what did you have on?
My sports bra.
Okay.
During the threesome?
A train.
So you just had on your sports bra and your
Choo
wiener belt.
choo.
No matter which story is true, it's not a win. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm
Wiener Belt Express pulling through the station.
like that's the thing. It's like, well, here but then conversely, if you were two boys and you were a brother and you did it to a girl, no one.
Think about an older brother wanting to show
Yeah.
his little brother.
Yeah,
Look, this is
yeah,
how you do it,
yeah.
little
That
man.
part. So that's what makes my thinking fucked up because that part's like, yeah, I get it. Two brothers take on a girl, but if
my
they're
brother never taught me how to like do my taxes or anything. Why would he teach me to have sex with a girl?
Yeah, I'm the oldest of like 6 siblings, and I don't think I would ever even.
Well, then you're not very close.
Maybe not. Maybe we're all
so.
going to heaven.
What do you think, Brett? Over there, is Brett listening?
Well, everybody knows. First of all, let me just say that everybody knows that Punky never climbed a tree in her fucking life. So
But is the
that story
pop
is
pop
not true.
level with me here? Is the
He has
gay
never-
brother fact? Is that a factor?
Hey, Austin,
No.
that was a joke.
Okay.
Everybody knows that was a joke. Okay.
Okay. I
Not
didn't
me.
know. I thought that
No.
was true.
I was hoping that was
yeah.
the.
Yeah.
Everybody didn't know it was a joke. That's the problem with my act.
Damn it, pop, pop.
All right. So we're gonna take a vote. So Brett, your vote is
The second story is true.
the second story is true about pulling a train on a girl. Austin, what is your vote?
I think the first story is a lie. Second story is true.
Okay. Jay.
I'm gonna vote for the second story because the part that makes the first story not work for me is when she befriends the neighbors.
Yeah, that was a little much.
Yeah, you know what? But what got me about that whole thing is when she first said the depend thing, and it was like that's the obvious joke. Like, and I was like, you mean like depends, like you know what I mean? Like she didn't get it to put it together that was a play on words. So I'm thinking if you were to, God, it's so tricky. I'm thinking if you were to lie, you would cover all your bases like that.
But what if she pulled that story from? Remember that lady that went across
the
country?
astronaut
Yeah.
killer
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
wore the depends across country.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
I
Yeah.
ain't never seen that shit.
You've heard of it.
Oh yes, you remember when that lady drove with her thing on?
Punky doesn't read the news.
It was all over. I remember that.
How much were they expensive? The Depends. You must have been struggling
She
financially
had money.
back
She had
in the
money.
day.
She was drinking
those are
Evian, had
expensive.
See, at this
Depends.
point,
Better than
though,
my dad.
I feel like you guys are focusing on the wrong thing.
Okay.
Because I believe wholeheartedly that if she really wanted to stalk somebody, that Punky would put depends on. It's the nature, it's the tree, it's the sitting up there alone for that long. That's the being quiet. These are the things that are not Punky.
All right. So you're saying the
Persona.
second story is true about the
Running the train, yeah.
yeah.
And you think the first story is a lie, Felicia? Be a contrarian.
Okay, I'm going to say the first story
is.
I'm going to say the first story is true.
Oh, you wait. You think the first story is true? Okay.
I'm going to say the first story is true.
Leah thinks first is true, second is false, and I will say that she did not hear the first story. She said so. Or wait, actually, she didn't hear your first story. Never mind.
She didn't miss anything.
But she's always wrong. So.
All right. Which one is the lie?
I did not have a threesome with my brother.
I can't believe I got it. I can't believe you weren't the
First of all,
Leah just got her first points on the show.
Yeah,
How about
you
this?
and me, Leah.
The key to the second story was we did go to the strip club.
Uh-huh.
The girl was my friend. I would not let my brother fuck my friend. She was really a good friend.
Uh-huh.
And if I would have let that go down, I would have regretted that for the rest of my life.
Because you know what got me on that story when you were talking about the sexual positions and that you were standing there and that she was munching, I was like, no way.
She was my really good friend. We were not on that level. I'm
Okay.
not that. That's just something bad to do. We were all drunk. No. But would me and my brother run a train on a bitch? We absolutely would.
All right.
Absolutely would.
So before we stray too far, let's talk about you being a stalker and never catching a charge or anything for
Well,
it.
the key to that
Her
story
dad was
is
the head of the police.
well, the key to that story is I'm a sociopath. That is what psychos do. They do crazy things, and I had never been rejected before. This was the love of my life. It was the hardest thing to do was to let her go. I had to see her. I had to follow her. I did everything I could. I did befriend her neighbors. They have no idea to this day that that's why I befriended them.
And
I
you
hope
did
they'd
wear
never find out.
Depends? You did wear
I
Depends?
did. The only reason why I did was because the first couple times I did it, I had to leave the tree because I had to pee so bad. Oh my God. I'm like, I got to find something to where I can get in this tree and stay in it longer. My God. Oh my God. I mean, I'm killing a big 32-ounce bottle of water, you know? I mean, I had to use the damn bathroom.
So what was that like to sit in a tree in your own urine?
It was just pathetic. It was pathetic.
How did she react when you? I know you kind of touched on it earlier, but like when you told her that you were stalking her, she wasn't upset at all. Or?
No. She was like, you was doing it to protect me? I was like, no. I
And
wasn't
did
trying to
you?
protect you.
And
I
did
was
you
trying
ever
to kill
see?
you.
Did you ever see anything that was like?
I never saw nothing. I never, and that's when she was like, see, I told you I was a good girl. She was a good girl.
Wow. That is a crazy fucking
But she didn't
story.
have to be a good girl. We wasn't together.
Were you in fear that she would find out about that story? Or was it must have been so hard for you to tell her that story?
It wasn't.
No.
Oh,
I could see
really?
Punky
The
totally-
the key sentence is, I'm a sociopath. I'm proud. It was very pathetic, but I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
Would I do it again? Absolutely.
Did you ever tell
Absolutely.
your dad, like chief police guy, or
He knew.
he
My
knew
daddy-
then?
My daddy always supported every one of my decisions.
He knew at the time,
Yeah.
so he would have backed you up.
Sometimes he'll come. He'll be
Because
like,
I know,
"All right."
because NOPD is pretty.
He'll come.
Punky, you're using the wrong kind of binoculars, and then you don't have the right camera. Let me tell you what to get.
He was
Wow.
like, look, this is how you gotta
You
do
need
it.
me to bug her
This
house
how
for
I
you?
stake out. I'm gonna show you how to do, like my dad is very supportive.
Leah
Well-
said, "Punky, cute though." I think you done turned her because now she got her first points, so she's like, "All right, Punky's my crush."
Well, I have to say, this has been a very interesting podcast. We've learned more about you guys, and that was the whole point of asking you guys to be on the podcast. I feel like I know you more intimately now,
Mhm.
and that you're a medium and it depends. It's information I'll never burn out of my head, no matter how hard I try. I can't believe you were done.
I can't believe. Did you straddle the tree? Like it was a branch?
Oh, and Brett, I don't really like nature now that I'm an adult, but all I did when I was a kid was climb trees. I climbed trees. I was an outside kid. I wasn't an inside kid. I played hide and go seek. I was on a playground every day in trees. I played guts outside. I made obstacle courses outside. I was an outside kid. So I
Wow.
definitely know how to climb a tree.
Well, thank you very much, you guys, for coming in and sharing these crazy stories with us. Jay, where can people find you or find out about you, or what do you have coming up?
You can find me on Instagram at God Hates J. It's just the letter J. Twitter is also God Hates J, but it's J-A-Y.
It's only
But
the
they
Jewish
cannot
God
find
that
you on
hates
Twitter
you.
at the
I'm
moment.
locked out of Twitter, so there's no point in following me. On
What
there.
happened?
So there's this guy named Dinesh D'Souza. He's like a real piece
Oh,
of shit.
really?
And I guess a few years ago, I got on Twitter and I started trolling him. And last year, he got pardoned by President Trump. And so one of my tweets from like 4 or 5 years ago got like flagged, and they said I had to delete it. And then he got on Twitter right after he got pardoned using the hashtag burn the Jews. So I was like, why does this guy get to be on Twitter and I'm locked out for something I said about him? So I just out of principle haven't.
MAGA, baby.
There you go. There you go.
And I will be at Caroline's on Broadway in New York City, May 21st.
Oh, wonderful. That's awesome. A place to play always.
Yeah,
Great place.
they're always very good to me when I go through there.
Good. And what about you, Punky?
Just follow me, Punkie Johnson on everything. I'm all just check me out. Look for my name on the lineups at the Comedy Store. I'm always on about 4 times a week. I'll be in Clusterfest in June 21st, June 23rd.
Oh, great.
And if everything's on my side, I'll be in Montreal end of July.
Nice.
Yeah.
But just for last.
We'll keep our fingers crossed for you. And
Yeah.
what about you, Brett? Do you have anything coming up, Pop?
Everybody knows, so it don't even matter.
Yeah.
I've got a pretty big show on Friday at the Ice House at 8:30.
Yeah, can you tell us a little bit more about that show?
Well, I'm getting paid $1,000 to do a show at the Ice House.
True.
It's Liars Club.
Yes.
Somebody stole our name.
We're
At
doing a
the
Liars Club
Ice
show this Friday at the Ice House. Do you want to give
Will
a
this
little bit
even
more?
be out by then? Well, I guess the live stream's happening, but
Yeah.
What did he say?
Any information you want to give out on that Liars Club show? Erica Rhodes is headlining that show. She's an amazing comedian and great joke writer. And we have Lucas Hurl.
Yeah, it starts at 8:30. It's $10 online or $15 at the door, so buy them now.
Lucas Hurl is on it.
Uh-huh.
So I'll work all week with Lucas on his lying
Okay, great.
because he needs help.
He's a terrible liar.
He's horrible.
Yeah, not like these two professionals we have here today. And what about you, Austin? Where can people follow you?
I'm the Austin Walker on everything, but please subscribe to our YouTube, The Liars Club. Keep up with the Comedy Stores because that's where we stream from and probably will be from now on. And also our Instagram, The Liars Club 1, and Twitter, Liars_Club. Follow us, interact with us on there, and who knows, maybe we'll throw you shout-outs.
Great. And I'm Felicia Michaels. You can follow me all across the board at Felicia Michaels. You can also, if you are into comedy documentaries, go to Vimeo On Demand and look up the movie documentary called Pervs, which I directed, and that's out now on that.
Nice. All right, I'm Jessica Wellington. Follow me at Jess Wellington 2 on everything. We're going to be in San Diego too, so we're trying to plug our dates on the 15th.
Yes.
We're going to do the festival there. So we're going to be doing a live podcast. Come check that out. And thank you guys so much. We love you. And you've been lied to.